Alright, good afternoon everybody. It's your boy Akeen and welcome to the Football Sources NFL Fantasy Blog. We are on week 10 of the 2014 season and I'm here to give you some tips on who you should start and bench for this week. But before I begin, I'd like to make a quick announcement. For now on, for the remainder of the season, I'm going to start giving you guys different segment videos where I would give you talk about players that you should start and bench for each week, talking about separate videos for each position in fantasy play. Instead of you guys giving you guys like a 15 to 20 minute long boring video, I'm going to give you more different segments which are quicker for you guys just to evaluate your teams by each position. Now I'm going to start with today's blog with the quarterbacks. Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's coming back coming off a back-to-back 6 touchdown passes on performance. He is a good quarterback this season. He's actually 3rd overall in points, and in this week he's playing against a Jets defense who has been hurt and struggling this season. I think this is a definite must-start for you guys at quarterback. Other quarterback you should start this week, Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks against the New York Giants. I remember in the game against the Washington Redskins where he torched them for many points, and he's having a great season as well. He's in the top 10 in fantasy points overall. Another player who's been out of the radar at quarterback, Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. He's a good start this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And mind you, they did trade away Mark Barron at the safety position, which is a good void for the Bucs that they're going to have to fill in. And I think that Matt Ryan should take advantage of that. Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers, this week they're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now early on, especially in the first quarter of this season, the Eagles defense has been performing brilliantly, but for the past recent weeks in fantasy play, they have not been living up to what they've been doing in the first quarter. And I think that Cam Newton should be due for at least a 20-point performance in this matchup. And lastly, one player that people has many concerns about is Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears. This week they're playing against the Green Bay Packers, and many people believe that they should sit him this week. But I firmly believe that you should start him this week, despite with the facts that of his history against the Packers. He has never won at Lambeau Field. He only threw for a pair of touchdowns while playing against the Packers, and threw 10 interceptions while averaging just 190 passing yards per game against that Packers defense. But because of the arsenal that he has around him, and he is still having a good season, he's actually 9th overall in fantasy points. And he had a couple of good performances on the road. Last game against New England, he posted 21 points. A previous game against the Carolina Panthers, he posted 21 points. And early on in this season, I believe it was week 3 against my San Francisco 49ers, he posted 25 fantasy points. And because of that, I think you should start him this week against Green Bay. And also, we already know about the great offense of Green Bay led by Aaron Rodgers. In order for the Bears to keep up with them, they're going to have to pass the football effectively against that Packers defense, but they're still going to give the ball a lot to Matt Forte at the running back position, who I think that should get possibly 50 receiving yards in this matchup, which means 2 fantasy points already for Jay Cutler. I think this is going to be a good game for him finally against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Players that you should bench this week at quarterback, starting with Ryan Tannehill of the Miami Dolphins. This is more of a scare. If you want to go with them against the Detroit Lions, you're taking a big risk this week. Now, he had a 33-point performance last week against the San Diego Chargers. Great performance, and he has improved a lot this season. But I think he's going to struggle against that Detroit defense. They've been playing great on the defensive side. One of the top defenses in fantasy play, and even one of the top defenses in the National Football League. I think you should bench Tannehill this week. Eli Manning against the Seattle Seahawks. This is a player that you should definitely bench this week, and due to the inconsistency of Eli's play, I definitely believe that you should bench him this week against that Seattle Seahawks secondary. And Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been playing okay, a little bit up and down this season, but this week they're playing against the Chiefs are playing against the Buffalo Bills, and I think that Alex Smith will definitely not have a good game against that great Bills defense. So those are the players that you should start and bench this week at quarterback. Next time I'm going to catch you guys is just a couple hours later, where I will give you the running backs, the wide receivers, and the remaining positions that you should look out for week 10 of this season. Thank you for watching this vlog from the Football Source. I'm your man, Akeen McCall. Be easy.